Hello and welcome to our lecture today. My name is Mr. Michael Mwangangi, DJL 2211, scripting from Broadcasting Media, Department of Journalism, School of Social Sciences. On to our today's objectives for our class. First, we wanted to understand what a script is and the importance of scripting. Our second objective is to understand the basic script layout and how to prepare each of them. We want to understand different script formats and how to prepare each of them. And finally, we want to understand different types of scripts. On to our introduction. All the programs produced on radio and television require scripts. Whether the script is fully written or partially written, it serves as a guide to a successful program production. So on these different programs that we are going to produce and broadcast them on radio, they usually require different types of script. Some of these scripts will either be fully written or partially written. We are going to be able to see what we mean by a fully written script and a partially written script. The type of script used for different programs is usually determined by the nature of the programs. We usually have different program formats that we base our different programs that we are going to produce for our radio and television. So some of these programs are feature programs, we have documentary programs, we have drama programs, magazine programs, just to mention but a few. Some programs naturally demand that the script is written fully, while others would take partial scripting. So we are going to be able to see what we mean by partial scripting, as well as fully scripted script. Knowledge of the nature of programs would help producers or script writers to know the type of script to prepare and the format to use. So we have different types of scripts, as we are going to see, and based on the program format that we would want to base our program on, then we will be able to determine the format that we are going to apply, or simply the type of a script that we are going to prepare for this production of ours. Now let us understand what we mean by a script. A script is a document which shows how creative imagination is transferred from a thought to a written form. Before we start producing our programs, we must first come up with an idea, and we cannot just go ahead to produce a program without first putting that idea or thought into a written form. So when we are transferring that idea, or when we are changing that idea or thought, or whatever kind of illusions that we have from our mind, we'll have to put that down in writing in a form which we are now referring to it as the script. We are saying that the script translates inspired ideas and illusions to reality. Now it translates inspired ideas and illusions into reality. So we are saying that before you start producing a program, you must be having an idea in your mind, and whatever that you have been thinking of, whatever that you wanted to communicate, that can be possible if you can be able to change that idea by writing it down somewhere on a document that we are referring to it as a script. So once you put those ideas down, then we can be able to look at them, or the producer can be able to look at them and determine whether we can be able now to change this idea that you have into a project or a program that can be watched by a given target audience. A script enables the replication of the same ideas through the adoption of stated approaches and procedures dealing with preconceived plot and meaning. Now, not all the ideas are original. Sometimes you realize that we can be able to produce a program from already produced work. Like, for example, we have been able to watch some of the productions that have been developed from novels. Okay, so we are saying that you can be able to change or be able to prepare a script from already prepared work. And I'm giving you an example of some of those movies that we usually see that have been developed from novels that have been there for quite some time. A good script tells you what the program is about, who is in it, what is supposed to happen, and how audience shall see and hear the event. Now, this document that you're going to prepare, that we are referring to it as the script, it will be able to provide to us all the information pertaining in the program that we are going to be watching. So what we are simply saying is that within the script there will be what we are supposed to see as the members of the audience. So there will be the shots or the different shots that will be able to show us those different images. We will be able to get to know what will be said. That is what we will be able to get to hear. So that has to be written down in what we refer to it as the dialogue. And at the same time, we'll be able to know how long each part of the production, which is arranged in form of scenes, episodes and the like, will be able to know, like for example, in the case of a scene, how long is that going to take. So your script is able to tell you how long a particular production is supposed to be. Now let's look at importance of a script. One, script provides smooth attention-getting beginning and an effective conclusion. So when you are preparing a script, you know that you'll have to have done a bit of research, and you'll have to weigh out on the words that you're going to use, especially when it comes to your introduction. Not only your introduction, but each and every part of your script. So because now you have done your research, and you want to make sure that you want to attract your audience, you must weigh out on the kind of words that you are going to use that will be able to attract this audience of yours. So you realize that you will be able to attract your audience with the starting part of your program, of your program. So with that, you'll be able to weigh out those attention-getting words that you'll use in the beginning, as well as when you're concluding the production. That is, because now we'll have to see all the words within your script. Secondly, scripts provide accurate, precise timing. Now, the script is the production itself on paper. The script is the production itself on paper. So when you're using that script, it will be able to provide the accurate time, or in terms of the information that will be there, will be accurate. And at the same time, as I had said earlier, you realize that each scene, or each part of the scene, or each sequence that you want finally to have, and depending on the different scenes that you're going to combine together so that you can form a particular sequence, each of that is clearly indicated on the length of time that it will be able to take. Thirdly, script provide the technical staff with the information they need to the right picture or sound and story at the right time. Now, once you're done with the shooting, especially when it comes to post-production, whereby you are going to be doing the editing of the production, then now you realize that the technical people there, that is one of them, the editors, they will need to synchronize what we can be able to see with what we can be able to hear. So with the script, we'll be able to know at this particular point, this person ought to be saying this, and it will be easier for us to be able to match the image, the visuals together with the audio. Next, for drama, actors must follow the script for the play they are portraying, particularly if they have to give exact word cues to other performers, such as a situation. To other performers, such a situation will need a script to be followed by the actor, word for word. We have different types of programs that we usually produce, or we are going to be producing, and one of those programs is the drama. We have things like the movies, and when we are producing such kind of a program, then you realize that we need actors and actresses. So for smooth acting, we need to know what a particular actor is supposed to know. So when a particular actor finishes with his or her dialogue, the other actor should be able to take up immediately, and we can only be able to get that if we have been able to write the script clearly. Next, whether on paper or on screen, script tells us what to say in what order, so that nothing gets left out, and it runs to time. So now with the script, wherever you have written it, it will enable us to know what we are going to say, and in which order are we going to say it. So I was giving you an example of the drama script, whereby the actors, they have at least to give exact words. So with that, they will be able to know what are they going to say. After that, we will be able to do the next line, and that goes on. Script is a safety net, reducing the stress of having to remember. So with a script, you are sure that you will be able to cover everything that you are supposed to cover within your production. So you'll not be so much stressed, wondering whether you've forgotten some points, and wondering again whether you'll be able to be having so much material that you'll have not covered by the time that you are supposed to complete your production or your show. So with the script, you'll be able to know what to say at what time, and be able to finish your production within time. Next, preparing a script provides the opportunity of thinking more deeply, adding substance, expressing ourselves more accurately, and developing the well-crafted, memorable phrase. Now, when you are preparing a script, we have said that you are involved in first doing a research. Once you get the idea, you do not just go ahead and start writing the script. You'll have first to do a bit of research. You'll have to talk to the people who are knowledgeable about that subject and the like. So it's like you're getting more background information that is related to this idea that you came up with, such that you can ensure that you're not going to produce something similar to what the audience had already watched. So to ensure you do not, or rather, we are saying that to ensure that you are going to be more deep in terms of the substance that you are going to give, then we are saying that that will be possible by the kind of research that we'll have done before starting to compile your script. So I want us to look at the basic script formats. And when we are talking about these script formats, it's simply the different layouts that we have for the different scripts that we are going to be producing. So we have two major layouts for our scripts. We have the single column and we have the two column format. So in a single column script, you usually present all your information on a single column, okay? So on this particular column, you're going to provide information like the shots that you are going to be taking, the directions of what the character will be doing. You'll also be able to provide the dialogue, that is what will be said or what will get to be yelling from our production. The two column format, this is where you prepare your script and have two columns. You present the information in two columns. We have the first column that you're going to indicate, or that you're going to show the visuals, what we are going to be seeing in your production, while the second column contains the audio. So on top there, you are going to write audio. So let us see what we mean by single column format. So although there are variations of the single column format, all video and audio information is usually contained in a single main column. Before each scene, an explanation, introduction describes the location and the action. So we are going to see what we mean by that in a short while. Reminder notes can be made in a wide left-hand margin of that given script. So you realize that when you're producing this single column kind of a script, we are going to include all the information that we'll be requiring to use in our production. So as I had mentioned earlier, you're going to have all the visuals in form of shots indicated there. You're going to be able to indicate the information of what is supposed to be happening, and this one is the one that we are referring to it as the directions that you are going to be giving to the actor or actress. Now, if we can have a look at an example of a single column format. Now, with your single column format, in the example that we have, you can be able to see that we are having different scenes here. And on your column, on your single column format, the first thing that you are going to indicate on the start of each scene is the location, okay? Whether that particular scene will be done indoor or whether it will be done outdoor. So what you are seeing here as XT is a short form of the word exterior. So this scene is happening outside, not indoor. Now, where is it happening? It is happening in the front of a farmhouse. Which part of the day? It is daytime. So when you are starting there, you must indicate the location, whether it is interior or exterior. Then you give us the specific location where that action will be taking place. Then you'll have to indicate to us whether it will be taking place during the day or during the night. Now, what you can see next there, still on the first scene, the front door opens, farmer comes out, walks up to gate. So because this is a person who is acting, we are assuming that this is a person who is acting, you are supposed to provide instructions of what is supposed to happen. So this second line there that we have there is the instruction of what is supposed to happen. So you can see that the farmer is supposed to come out of the house and walk up to the gate. He looks left, right, along the road. So up to that moment, we have not seen any dialogue. We have not heard what the given character or actor or actress has to say. So what we have there is just instruction, and those instructions usually guides the actor or the actress on what he or she will be doing. Now, within the second scene as well, it is happening out in all, and that's why we are writing there EXT, exterior, which is the specific place. It is a long shot of a road, and it is happening outside the farm. So you get a long shot of the road, and where are you getting that from? From outside the farm. So what is happening? The farmer is looking east. So again, there we have some instructions that we have given there. So this character, whom now we are referring to him as the farmer, is supposed to be looking eastwards. Where is that? At what time or what part of the day is that action taking place? It is taking place during the day. So don't forget to indicate that. Now, still on that, P or V, it is a point of view shot of the farmer looking along road waiting for the car. So point of view shot, it's simply showing us what the farmer will be seeing. So it's like you are putting or placing the camera at the level of the eyes of that particular character. Scene 3, again, it's still happening outside, that is exterior. Which particular place? It is at the farm gate. Which part of the day? It is during the day. So again, you provide the shot there. You're going to get a medium shot of the farmer leaning over the gate, looking anxiously. So that one, you're giving the direction on how this character is supposed to look like. It's just like the director will be expecting this character to just like pacing forward and backward, like showing that there is something he's eager to get. So it turns to house calling. So down there, now we can be able to see the first dialogue. The farmer, what does he say? I can't see him. If he doesn't come soon, I will be late. That's the dialogue. So scene 4, now that part of the scene is taking place indoor. That's why we are writing it INT, a short form of interior. So it is inside the farmhouse, and specifically the kitchen. So what part of the day? It is during the daytime. So we can see through the shot that we are going to be given, the wife is collecting breakfast things, sound of radio, or rather we can be able to hear the sound of radio. So we can be able to see what the wife says there. You are too impatient. There's plenty of time. So we move to scene 5. Where is it happening? It is happening outside the farm gate, or rather it is happening outside the house. So you can see the word exterior there. Which part of the day? It is daytime. So there we are given a medium shot of the farmer standing in the same position, and he looks in the other direction. And now at that point, we can be able to hear the sound of approaching car from a distance. Then we can be able to hear the bang, and then everything goes silent. So that's an example of a single column format. So we are saying that this type of a script is widely used for narrative film style production and single camera video, where the director works alongside the camera operator. So in most cases, you realize that this kind of a script will be more suited in cases where you're doing a single camera production. A single camera production is where you're using just one camera for your shoot. Now, the opposite of that is multi-camera production, and in such a case, you'll be having more than one. Like in the case of TV production, most of the time you realize that within the studio, you're going to find at least 3 cameras that are going to be used in producing the given production. So on the next point, we are saying that it is perhaps less useful in a multi-camera setup where the production team is more dispersed, but everyone needs to know the director's production intentions. So this single column script might be a challenge for other technical people, like for example the camera person, because they are supposed to know at what particular point are they supposed to be giving a particular kind of a shot. Moving on. Now the 2-column format, and I've said that when it comes to 2-column format, we separate what we are going to see and what we are going to hear. So what we are going to see is placed on its own column with a title up there indicating visuals or simply the video. Now the second column is the one that will be able to contain the audio. So up there you are going to have a small underlined heading, which is the audio. So we are saying that like the 1-column format, there are many variations of the 2-column format. This traditional TV format is extremely flexible and informative. It gives all members of the production team shot-by-shot details of what is going on. The production team members can also add their own specific information, for example, details of lighting changes as needed. Now, given the fact that you can be able now to give different copies of this, and we have already separated the video and the audio, and we are matching what we'll be seeing with what we'll be getting to hear. So it will be easier for the different production team members to know where they can be able to make a slight or small adjustment so that the production can flow on smoothly. Now, that's why we are saying that the production crew members, for example, the case of the lighting manager, they know at a given part of the scene, they'll need to be able to do some adjustment of the lights. So at a particular scene, they can be able to indicate what kind of adjustment they are going to do against that part of the scene. Next point, 2 versions of the script are sometimes prepared. In the first, that is rehearsal script, the right column only is printed. Now you realize that the production moves on stages, and you realize that the first stage is getting people to understand their lines. As we are going to see in different types of scripts, there's what we refer to it as the production script. That is like the master script that the producer uses to be able to let the audience, or rather to be able to let the production team get to know what the production is all about. So with that, they'll be able to be informed of the theme of the plot of or rather the storyline, among others. So in such a case, what we will be much interested on at that particular stage is what each of the character or what each of the actors and actresses are supposed to be saying. So that's why we are interested on the audio part, and that's why we are saying that you can first be able to only produce and print out the right column where we usually feature the audio content of your script. So there we have an example of a 2-column format script. Now, what I was saying is that on the left side, that is the first column, you feature the visuals. So in our case here, instead of writing a video or visual, we've just written the camera, because now cameras are the ones that will be giving us those visuals. Now on the second column, we write the audio, or what will be happening, or rather what we'll be getting to hear. So now under the video, you can be able to see we are using 3 cameras, and those cameras, for your information, you'll have to give them numbers. So in our case here, on our script, we've given the 3 cameras, camera 1B, the second camera we have referred to it as camera 2D, and the third camera, we have given it the name 3A. So before we move on, when it comes to the issue of cameras within our studio production, just the way we have given these camera numbers, we will use the same number to refer to the camera operator who will be handling such a camera. So if it is the camera, the operator who is handling camera 1B will just be saying, camera 1B, give me this kind of a shot. Now on the video, or rather on the audio side, you can see what is happening there. So we will be getting sound through the boom mic. Okay. Now on our production, we are starting with scene 4, and that scene is taking place indoor at that part of the house, and the time of the day is at night. So you can be able to see that. Now we start with our shot, or rather we start by fading up. That's why we are abbreviating that with FU, fade up. And then I will start by showing what the camera 2 will be recording, and camera 2 will be giving us a long shot of doorway. So we are expecting someone to be getting inside the house, and that person, if you look at the audio side, you'll be able to see the instructions that we are giving there, which is the farmer enters, hangs his hat on a wall hook beside the door. So that one will be given by the long shot of the doorway, whereby we'll be able to see the farmer getting inside the house and doing all that. Now, the camera 2 will change from long shot and then zoom into medium shot as the farmer enters. Now, as the farmer is entering the house, we'll get to hear some rain. And probably when you are doing your production, you may realize that at that part of the day, we do not have, it's not raining. So you wouldn't want to get that sound from a given place, and we usually have some effects that you can be able to play. We have different discs or tapes that we store in our studios, whereby you can be able to get any kind of effect that you want. So if you want to give that maybe sound of rain, you can be able to do that. Now moving on, you can see that camera 1B is the one that now it is giving us an over-shoulder shot, or S is over-shoulder shot. And then it changes to the view of the sun's point of view. Now, on the audio part, we can be able to see the farmer is getting, or rather, the farmer says it is getting late, and he asks, how is the poor beast doing? Now, moving on. Now, the sun will be able to respond there. As you can see, I don't think she'll last the night. She has a high fever. So we change to camera 3A, which will be giving us long shot of the farmer. And when you look at the instructions that we are giving on the audio section, we see the farmer walks forward to the stall, and he says that he has called a person by the name Willie, and he's saying that he is on his way. So that continues that way. So in short, what we are saying here is simply that on the first column, that one you are going to feature the video, or simply what we are referring to it as the visuals. On column 2, that is the second column, you are going to feature what we are referring to it as the audio. In short, what we will be able to get to hear from the production. Now moving on, let's talk about the different script formats. So apart from having those two broad script layouts, we have different script formats. And we can start by saying that the script format presents a comprehensive view of the nature of the production. It tells the actions required of participants as a guide to performance efficiency. Now, as we are going to see, there are different script formats. And the ones that we were saying earlier, that we have the partial script, the fully scripted format, the rundown script, among others. So we are going to be looking at that. Second point, we are saying that the format is dependent on the nature of the proposed programs and the experience of the production crew. Now, the script that you are going to prepare definitely depends on one, on the type of format that you are going to adopt. And I remember that we said that when it comes to script format, or rather when it comes to program format, we can have programs like documentary, programs like drama. So if you are to look at the script for documentary, will be quite different from the script prepared for drama. So that's why we are saying that the format, the program format, can determine the kind of script that will be prepared, and on as well the experience of the production team. So there we have the different types of scripts. We have the fully scripted format, the partial script format, the rundown format, and the show format. Now the fully scripted format, as we are going to see, usually contains everything that is going to happen in that given production, right from the start to the end. It will be able to contain the audio, it will be able to contain the visuals, that is the camera shots, and instructions that are supposed to be followed when we are actualizing that production. The partial script format, this one does not contain everything that will be said. Okay, so what you are likely to find is, for example, all those words of the host or the presenter of that given program. But in most cases, you realize that this kind of script is applicable in some of the productions, like in the case of interviews, discussions, whereby you are going to invite guests and you cannot tell exactly what these guests will be saying. so you cannot be able to write the exact words that they will be saying. So the best option is for you to prepare what we are referring to it as the partial script format. I'm going to look at that. The third one is the rundown format. Now, rundown format is just a script that indicates the different areas that you are going to cover, and against them you indicate the duration that each of those elements within your production will take. Okay, so within your show, for example, you realize that probably you are going to take 30 minutes, and there are those key points or key issues that you'll have to discuss. So what you're going to do in this kind of a format, you'll just list. You're going to talk about, for example, issues of corruption. You indicate the length that you're going to discuss on that. You're going to talk about the issue of the COVID pandemic. You indicate the duration that you're going to take when you're covering that, and so on. The show format is more or less similar to the rundown format, but here you just go ahead and indicate the key topics that you'll be able to be discussing. So let us have a look at those different script formats. So on the fully scripted format, we are saying that we have to make sure that we feature everything. So let us go through that. The fully scripted format includes every word that is to be spoken during a show, as well as detailed audio and video instructions. So everything that will be happening in that particular production, we have to see it within this kind of a script. It does not allow any deviation. And examples of programs that we can be able to produce following this kind of a script, for example, news, we have commercials, and some of those drama kind of productions. We are saying that when a program is fully scripted, it includes detailed information on all aspects of the production, which are, one of them is the scene, and as you can be able to see there, we must include the different scenes, or we must talk about, or rather you must feature the scenes within your fully scripted format. There will be the shots, and what we mean by a shot, it's just a short video clip that we usually get when we place a record on our camera and posting the record. So whatever that you'll have recorded there will be what we refer to it as the shot. So we must be shown all the different shots that will be taken from that production. Again, we will be provided with a dialogue, or you must feature dialogue. Dialogue is now the conversation between the different characters that you have there, or it could be what the host of the program will be saying, probably when he or she is looking to the audience through the lens of the camera, or when he or she is reading the auto cue. So every word that we'll get to hear, we are saying that it's part of the dialogue. We'll as well be able to to provide the equipment that we'll be using. For example, you realize that you'll be using the cameras, you'll be using the visual mixer. So if there is anything that those different cameras are supposed to be doing, or those equipment are supposed to be doing, then you'll be able to see all that indicated on that fully scripted format. So on our equipment, next we'll be able to see the basic camera instructions. So that you'll be given by which camera will be taking which kind of a shot, and which subject will we be focusing on. As you can be able to see that the example that we've given there, camera 1, giving close-up. See, U is a close-up shot on Joe's hand, and then it dollies out to a long shot. Then the switcher is an equipment that is used within the control room that is able to be able to change from one camera to another, and with that it can be able to perform different functions. It can be able to cut, it can be able to fade, either fade up or fade out, that is removing the shot from the screen and all that. Next, contributory sources. Now these are the sources whereby you are going to be getting other materials that you want to include within the production. Like for example, if there is some music that you want to play, you can be able to indicate which source that music will be played from. Is it from a tape? Is it from a DVD? And which machine will be playing that? So the productions that you can be able to produce with that, we've given them down there. They are the news, the commercials, the drama. They are examples that you can be able to apply when you are using fully scripted format. So we have an example of fully scripted drama script there. Although on this example of ours, we've not given the shots. They are supposed to be there, or the camera shots that are supposed to be taken. But now you can be able to see the words or the dialogue that will be there, and the instructions that tells us what this person will be doing. So, for example, in this episode 1, on that production that is being referred to as Success Thrills, on scene 1, we have instruction there whereby we are told that Martin is seen entering into the reception at Chaka Ranch with his daddy. He holds the daddy's hand as they walk into the reception. So those are just instructions. Then we can see the first dialogue coming from daddy. Daddy says, Martin, here is Chaka Ranch, and all that. So you can be able to see what he says. You can see all that dialogue between the father and the son, who goes by the name Martin. So everything is presented there in terms of the dialogue. Whatever that they are going to be saying has to be written down. So this means that the script continues, so there's no missing words here. So moving on, the second script format, we refer to it as the partial script. And partial script have said that you do not include all the words that will be said. So let us see what we are supposed to get to know from this. This is also known as semi-scripted show format. In general, the opening and closing remarks are fully scripted, but the bulk of what people say is only alluded to. So in this kind of a script, and I am given you some examples of programs that can be produced using this kind of a script, like for example, interviews or those discussions. You realize that what you can be able to do is to have all the words that the host of the show will be saying, especially when introducing the show, and the words that the host will be concluding the show with. So you can be able to write everything there. But in between, you realize that you'll have to ad-lib. You'll have to be smart and be able to know which words you are going to use, so that now the program can flow. So when you are doing that, you must stick to the different topics that you listed down on what you are supposed to discuss with your guests. So we have an example of a partial script, and that example we are using the script layout that we refer to it as, and then double column. Now let us just concentrate on the audio part. So you can see that when the show starts, you can be able to see what the host says here. The host will be saying, in today's edition of Arise and Shine, we shall bring to you the Aurelius Brothers, the Soul Singers, the Talking Parrot, and the Global Wizards. You are welcome to the program and meet my audience. So you realize that he continues talking, so that's why we are using these 3 dots. So yeah, that indicates that they are missing words. So you are not providing all the information there. That continues. In the next, we can see what is written there. We shall start with the Soul Singers in their song titled Upside Down. Then he continues. You can see the 3 dots again. So that means that there are information that is supposed to be there, yet you did not include it within the script. So it is upon now the audience. It is upon now the host together with now the guests that they have been invited to be able now to just come up with whatever that they are to present within the show. So because we cannot be able to tell what this person will be saying within that particular show, so that's why we are not writing everything there. So that's an example of a partial script. So we are simply saying that the partial script shows the entire words delivered by the news anchor, and 2, the talents and lib. To ad-lib is to just be able now to talk freely and be able to come up with other words that have not been featured within the script. So they will ad-lib from their experience, but in line with the role they are expected to play. So the next format, we refer to it as the rundown format. The next format, we refer to it as the rundown format. And the rundown format shows the outline of the entire show from the beginning to the final fade out. It shows the order they are to appear and indicates the accompanying dialogue in a fairly sketchy manner. So this one is the one that we were saying to be able to indicate the different, probably if you are to do different points or topics within your show, then you'll be able to list what will be happening. Like for example, when you're starting your program, you usually start with some signature tune. So you'll be able to indicate how long is that signature tune going to take. You go to the second part, maybe the introductory bit, the host introducing the show, you indicate how long that will be able to take. So you continue that way up to the end. So you can be able to see an example of that. You have one part, the sequence, then what item will be playing, and now the duration. So what you can be able to see up here, the sequence is simply that part of the show that you're going to play. Like I was saying, most of the programs usually start with a signature tune. So how long will that signature tune take? It is going to be played for 15 seconds. Then you move to the next item. It's an opening announcement. How long will it take? 45 seconds. So now all that goes that way up to the end. But now what you'll have to realize is that the duration that you have indicated here, which is the total duration of your program, shouldn't be the same as to when we are to add what each sequence will be able to take. So if we are to add sequence 1 all the way to sequence 13, it shouldn't be able to give us a length of 15 minutes. The next is the show format. The show format lists only the order of particular show segments, such as the interview. Okay, that's just an example. You can have something to do with an interview with Chief Justice Maraga there. Commercial 2, If you're having another topic like book review, you'll be able to indicate that. So the difference between this, the show format, and the rundown will just indicate the time that each part will be taking. Well, this one, you just indicate the different topics that you'll be discussing. So we have an example there. So let's carry on. Let us look at the different types of scripts. So as we had said earlier, the script is a guide, and therefore it does not benefit only one person, but the whole production team. Script benefits the whole production team. So based on that, we are able to come up with different types of scripts. We have the production script, the director script, the floor plan script, the lighting design script, and acting or presentation script. So we start with the production script. Now, when we are starting now the production, you know, the person who is in charge of the entire production is the producer. And the producer will be in charge of all the logistics. And now to start with, he has to call for a meeting of all the members of the production team. So when he gathers all those members, he has to brief them or inform them of the synopsis of this given production, so that they can be able to know what the production is all about. Okay? So in short, production script is the same as what we refer to it as the master script. So moving on, let us look at the director's script. Now, director is the one who is responsible of now transforming the words or whatever is within the script into a production that we can be able to watch. Now, let us go through that. The script directs the interpretative artist, such as the director, the technical director, and the cameraman in the television. Now, the overall director of the given production should be able to know something about everything that happens in that given production. He should be able to know something about lighting, should know something about camera work, okay? Should know something about makeup and all that. So what we are saying is that the director's script should be having like all this information so that he can be able to direct that production effectively. 2, it also directs such other artists in the costume. I believe I've mentioned that. The script shows the floor manager what is required so that an appropriate floor plan can be designed for the program production. So still within the director's script, there'll be something about how the performance area, or rather where the action will be taking place, how it is supposed to be arranged or how it is supposed to be set. And the person who is in charge of that is the one that we refer to him or her as the floor manager. So out of that script, you will be able to know how he can be able to arrange the place that the action will be taking place. The director's script shows the sequence of activities and actions in their expected order of presentation. Now, as we are going to see, you realize that when you start your shoot, sometimes you'll be forced to be able to shoot in different scenes that are not following one another, but they are supposed to be taking place or happening in the same location. So, but now that should not be a problem, because now the director has a script, or we have a script that shows how each scene is supposed to follow one another. Next, it provides the logical order which bestows believability and acceptance to the programs. Okay, so with this director's script, it will enable now the different parts of that production to be able to connect. And when that happens, you realize that the audience will be able to understand or to get the message with an ease. So we have an example of the director's script there. We can be able to see what usually happens there. So when the program starts, we'll expect the program to start with the opening credits and the signature tune. That is followed by, now that depends on the kind of program that is being done. So we are highlighting on what will happen in that entire program with this director's script. So we are saying that the director's script modifies the master script as provided by the producer to suit the realities of the presentation. Now remember that the director is the one who is making the production a reality, and you realize that though he has been given a script to follow, sometimes you realize that there are some of the scenes that he thinks might not come out well if he does them just like the way they are being indicated within the original script or the producer's script. So what is the way forward? He can be able to modify that. He can be able to modify the producer's script so that the actors can be able to bring out the actions smoothly and so on. Next is the technical script. So technical script is the document produced by the various sections of the production crew. Now, when we are talking about the technical team, these are people who are going to be involved in handling different equipment. Like, for example, we have the camera people, we have the lighting people. So each of these people, or each of these sections or departments or technical people, they will be able to come up with their own technical script that will be able now to indicate just what they are supposed to be doing on each of the scenes that is supposed to be done for that particular production. So we are saying that part 2, or rather part 1, is the document produced by the various sections of the production crew. It is interpretative in nature and presented in the language of those who are going to use it. Now, when it comes now to production, like for example, when we were looking at some of the scripts up there, you want me talking about fade under, fade up. You want me talking about close up, long shot, wide shot, extreme close up. So all that is a language that is used in production. So the production people usually understand that language, and we are saying that when now these technical people are coming up with the technical script, then they are going to apply the language that they usually use too. The sketch, like the architectural design, shows what should be where in the production arena. It indicates the position of lights, cameras, microphone sets, and furniture. So when we are coming up with this technical script, we'll have to be able to tell where we're going to position particular cameras in relation to probably the talent, in relation to the prop, that is the properties where they will be. Next, it also shows the location of a specific equipment and machinery, as well as the possible directional plots for camera movement. Okay, so that technical script will be able to as well be able to indicate where some equipment will be placed and whether the equipment is going to move, how it is supposed to be moved. Like for example, you realize that during a shoot, you'd want to probably do what we refer to it as dollying. That is, you move the camera closer to the subject or away from the subject. You dolly in, you dolly out, or you do an arc. You move the camera at a semicircle. So that script should be able to show all that. Then finally, the essence is to ensure the effective use of the fileable space in order to produce a program that meets the desire of the production script. So the purpose of all that is for you to be able to use the space that is there effectively, so that you can be able to give, probably if it's a lighting, it can be done effectively. If they are the shots as well, to be able to achieve the best shots. Next is the types of scripts. One, we have what we refer to it as the floor plan script. Now, when it comes to production, like for example, the production studio, we have different sections of the studio. We have the performance area, we have the control room and alike. So what we are talking about here under the floor plan, it is now that section of the studio where the action will be taking place. So we have a type of a script that we'll be using there, which we refer to it as the floor plan script. So this kind of a script will make the artist to understand their activity or action areas, so that conflict in space utilization in program production is eliminated. So depending on the production that is going to be done, you realize, for example, when it comes to dramatic kind of productions, there's usually a lot of movement. So these actors and actresses have to be shown where they are going to be standing, where what kind of move, and the area within which they should be able to move, if at all they have to. Next, the floor usually is split into grids or small squares, like the linoleum or ceramic tiles used in covering a standard room. So we usually do that so that the performer or that talent can be able to know how you will be doing there, or how they will be doing their movement. So moving on, we have the shooting script. So shooting script directs camera action and explain the words to be spoken and the sound to be heard as either an effect or to be ad-libbed. So shooting script usually indicates what the camera will be capturing, and also what we will be getting to be yelling from the talent. So this script therefore has a specific significant columns such as the activity sequence, camera text and positions, action to be covered, and the sound to be heard. So I believe you can be able to relate all that based on based on what we talked under the full script. Now, next is the camera script. And camera script is simply a script that shows the different takes that the camera will be doing at any given time. So that is usually given in different shots. So we have an example of a camera script there. So on the first, we may define that into different sections. So the first part, you can be able to see that we are having the shot number, the camera number, or that particular camera that will be giving us that kind of a shot, and now the kind of shot that we expect to be given by that camera. So as I said, when it comes to studio productions, or what we refer to it as multi-productions, we are using more than one camera, and that's why we will have to number those cameras. So we will be doing different shots, and that's why we are numbering the shots. So if we are to follow a given order, then you realize that we are following those numbers from 1 to that way. So those are the shots that are to be taken, and here are the cameras that will be taking each of those shots, and here is what will be appearing on the screen. So next we have the acting script. And the acting script, in our production we have those actors and actresses. So we have that script that shows what each of the actor or actress will be saying. So that's why we are saying that this shows the lines of dialogue or speech that are required from each actor in the order the lines are to be delivered. Secondly, the script also contains the acting instructions with the expectant lines for actors. So the instructions are the ones that the director will be using at least to control the mannerism, either the manner of talk or just the way the actor will be behaving. So we have all that there within the acting script. The importance here is to ensure that words are matched with the anticipated actions so that the expected and dramatic effect on the audience would be achieved. So all that is what usually is featured within the acting script. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. Thank you very much.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.